People immigrate to the United States in search of a better life, and that's absolutely true of the family you're about to meet. Photojournalist Brad Horn spent a year and a half with an interpreter who knew his life was at risk if he stayed in Afghanistan.
North of Afghanistan, we went there. There was not any US forces, just we went there to resupply and rotation the Afghan personnel. And we stuck in the firefight for a little over 4 hours.
I met Shafiola in the spring of 2014. I was a commander of an advisor unit, US Army, in Afghanistan. Shafiola was not only my interpreter, but my cultural advisor as well.
In this location where I was standing, I just came here next to the truck. The round came and hit like just 10 centimeters from my face.
He was very familiar with the culture, the customs, and on a tactical level, what was safe, what was not safe, who could be trusted, who couldn't be trusted. Very valuable information Shafiola and others in his role provided. More importantly, what was the climate of the local population. And having that knowledge as a commander would critical in making decisions that would affect the outcome of the mission and the safety of my soldiers. So I was side by side with an Afghan commander, and he would explain to me what was going on, and of course Shafiola would interpret it to me, and then I would give him suggestions for improvement or sustainment, and then Shafiola of course would interpret it back.
We were always thinking, okay, hopefully we are getting back home alive, because the life of interpreters in Afghanistan is not safe, and always they are in high threat. The person who's interpreting and also their family are. I was receiving threats, and they were trying to kill me. And I witnessed for some of my other interpreters who got killed. And he left the base. He was driving from base to home, and they kidnapped them on the way, and they chopped their head off and they put on their belly and sent their house.
When I left Afghanistan, I told him that I will get you to the United States. Members of my unit, we pooled resources, wired money to him so he could travel with his family to start the immigration process. Working with both the State Department to be vetted as his sponsor and the World Relief Agency out of Sacramento, identified that I would be bringing Shafiola to Carson City and getting his family and his life set up here.
Scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah!
Colonel Strahan and he with his family, they came to welcome me in Reno airport. And I was very happy. I feel, okay, that's good. I was feeling very happy when I saw him with their family, and they brought some gifts for my kids, some toys. And they drove me back to my house, and they said, okay, this is your house, and he prepared everything for me. And I'm happy here in Carson City, and I'm safe. The teacher was explaining to the other kids, okay, he's Rafiola, he came from Afghanistan, from different culture. He used to learn the new culture. He's happy, and right now he's getting ready for Halloween.
I like here because my other countries, there was like fighting and wars, so that's why we came here.
10 here, 25 here, and 25 here. I was planning to go to the college or to the university to learn some skills, to do better job and have a good job in the future, not to be a laborer, always work for someone. I want to be or stand on my own feet, to do a good job and to support my family, to support other friends. And
Shafi was the first one in the lab every day and the last one to leave every night. He put in more time than any other student. He worked very hard with all of our instructional team, with our teaching assistants. He took advantage of every time the lab was open. He really put his heart and soul into his studies, and to trying to do the things that he needed to do to be successful.
My dream for my kids has to have a good future and have a good life here. They are in America. I want a good future for him to have a better life and become a teacher, a doctor, and an engineer, a pilot, and a military guy. Especially I like to be a military and serve for America.
I want to be a police or a fireman.
I couldn't think of a better example of somebody that's come here, taken availability of their opportunities and the resources and ran with it to set himself up and his family up for success.
A 15-year-old boy, a war-torn country, and a family in danger. Photojournalist Brad Horn documented the path of 6 Syrian refugee families and how they landed safely in Reno.
Okay, this is scary. Here we go. We can do this. Actually, yeah, maybe I use 2. Okay. Okay, Susu, you help me. Susu. Okay, I'm just gonna make.
Good job.
Oh my god.
Just did it.
We did it, huh?
Getting to know the ISAs has probably been one of the most life-giving experiences of my life.
I like about them everything, you know, because they are really nice people. JD and Sarah and Ella too.
And you put that away?
Every time when you want anything, they can come. When you need something in English, they can help you.
Free, but we have a lot of laws, a lot of rules. You know, you can't cross the street unless the light is green, or they can give you a traffic citation.
Getting them social security cards and getting them checked out by the doctor, lab work and all that stuff. You know, addressing each individual human being and what their needs are as a human being coming here.
People who are just like me and my family, but whose life gets interrupted by this thing that's out of their hands. Ahmed was able to get the refugee process started, and about 2 years later, they're able to be resettled. This is a 15-year-old kid who had the responsibility of getting his family out of Syria, and then working and providing for them.
Every day, imagine every day is shooting, bombing, all of this kind of stuff, screaming.
You know, life and everything changed just like that.
Sharing the life of individuals that are really coming out of deep anxiety and incredible trouble. Resettlement really touches every component of human life.
So much better. Yeah, doing the other one.
Most of our refugees started working within 2 to 3 months. So at this point, all 13 families either have one or both parents working.
This is my zikr.
The thing about Zacharias is that he's always smiling. He goes to the airport for every refugee family that arrives, and he proclaims himself as the mayor of Syria, Little Syria.
I'm a musician, so when I saw that Solène, the oldest daughter, had a guitar on her back, I was automatically excited. I was like, oh, this is so cool. There's already this possible connection there.
He's learning Kurdish music, you know, and I'm learning American song.
I want to be at those graduations. I want to be there at weddings. I want to be there when Ahmed opens his business.
Not so much complicated, so much simple. Businessman.
These next few months to help the families that are here, but also to do broad outreach into the community to let everyone know what it means to be a refugee.
I love to help somebody, you know, and when we come, somebody help us. We have to pay for it. We have to help somebody else.
This time, what we do right now, if you make it good, If you have a dream, if you have a goal in your life, whatever you want, nothing impossible in this life.
We've heard their stories, now we want to hear yours. Our viewers are already talking about these stories, and we invite you to join the conversation. What do you think about immigration and its impact in Northern Nevada? Join us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for joining us. Good night. Residents in Lemon Valley don't see a beautiful lake that surrounds their neighborhood.
It's gross. It's all green algae and really disgusting.
They see a sewage cesspool. Kim Semino says the water is killing birds and making her sick.
I just don't trust it. I've been sick for 9 weeks.
This past winter and spring, Lemon Valley turned into a retaining pond for massive amounts of rain and snow that fell in the area. It all collected here and pushed Swan Lake over its banks. Many months later, and there's still no place for the water to go.
I have concerns about it because of the fact that it is a body of water that just keeps receiving in water, doesn't flush out like a natural lake.
Today, houses continue to be surrounded by floodwaters.
I had about this much water in my backyard.
At homes where the water is gone, the problems didn't recede with the water. Semino's been to the hospital 6 times, the emergency room twice.
I've had a really bad cold, my chest. I had pneumonia. I've got a rash on my leg that is huge, and it makes my legs swell up really bad.
Semino's neighbors also have unexplained illnesses, and her dogs have been sick too.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. See, we're both sick.
The medical bills are adding up.
The dogs, I've spent about $6,000 on the dogs, and me, myself, probably about $15,000. My kids were raised in this house. I love my house, and I just don't want to move. I love it out here. I mean, this is my life. This is my whole life right here. And now it looks like a war zone.
The residents think the stagnant floodwaters, the thick algae, and the potentially contaminated groundwater are to blame. Semino's tap water has tested positive for E. coli.
And I'm thinking that there's something wrong with the water, and they just don't want to tell us.
We wanted to know what was in this water, so we're going to take some samples and find out. And we tested from several locations. We took 3 samples to the Nevada State Public Health Laboratory. They tested for overall bacteria and specifically E. coli. Both were present in the water. The Washoe County Health District explained our results.
Just on those 3 tests that were averaged together, it came to 46.2, which is, like I said, nearly 10 times under the U.S. EPA exceedance for recreational waters, and it's also still under the exceedance for actual swimming beaches.
The Health District says in 2017 it's taken 85 water samples from Swan, Silver, and White Lakes. Their test results?
They're way below the exceedance level that's set by the U.S. EPA for recreational waters.
But spokesman Phil Ulibarri admits he would not let his family or even his pets swim in the water.
I think when I smell it the most is in the morning.
Tammy Holt-Still is a board member of the Lemon Valley Swan Lake Recovery Committee, a group of residents who speak for and represent the Lemon Valley residents. She's concerned that Washoe County isn't doing enough to get rid of the floodwaters.
It needs to be pumped out. The city of Reno needs to stop pumping their effluent water in Washoe County, need to stop pumping their effluent water into that lake. It needs to go someplace else.
The county says this water isn't making residents sick, but they're not convincing many of the people who are living in this bacteria soup that are doing anything to get up and out of the water.
I wish somebody would have done something more and sooner.
And as the sun sets on Lemon Valley for another night, residents wonder how many more days they'll have to put up with the floodwater concerns. In Lemon Valley, Kim Burrows reporting.